Good evening everybody, my name is Crystal, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm not very happy this evening. No, I'm not. I'm disgusted at people's behaviour. I'm fed up with it, and tonight I'm just well pissed off. I mean, it's not the bullying, it's not the stupid words. It's just going round and round in circles with the same old thing. I get happy, I'm okay, I'm doing what I like doing, and then someone comes along and spoils it and tries to, you know, I don't care if you've got long hair, I don't care if you've got beautiful skin, I don't care if you've got straight teeth. It's what's inside that counts. If someone came up to me and they didn't have all that teeth and they didn't have perfect skin and their hair was all over the place, but they were kind to me and they had a lovely personality, you know, I wouldn't take the piss out of them. And Charlie, right? I didn't turn Charlie away because he had no teeth. I didn't turn Charlie away because he had no hair. Charlie tried it on with me. I didn't turn him away, you know, just because somebody's got no teeth and they've got no hair or whatever. It wasn't to do with that, it was to do with the fact that he tried it on with me. That's all it was. When Charlie approached me, I thought I'd found a friend, someone I could walk around the field with, yeah. I didn't think he was part of this Mickey taking against me. I didn't think, you know, what they've been doing is extremely cruel and nasty. I'm not going to explain why my teeth are like they are. I shouldn't have to. If they don't bother me, why should it bother you? Why should it bother you? You don't live my life, you don't have anything to do with me apart from making sarcastic comments and being cruel. Why should you worry about what I look like? Why is it your problem? There's a lady called Lizzie Velasquez. She's blind in one eye. She's extremely thin. She's been labelled the most ugliest woman. She isn't. She's beautiful. She's got a lovely personality. She's extremely kind. She's intelligent. She's famous, right? She goes around talking about what happened to her. It doesn't sink in with people, does it? It just doesn't sink in. You don't have to be beautiful to be successful. You don't have to be beautiful to be famous. You don't have to be these things. It's what's inside that counts. It's what you do. Not fucking beauty is skin deep. That's why they say that. There's millions and millions of people in this planet, and you want to make stupid remarks about my teeth. My goodness. If all these trolls spent time on helping the planet, it'd be so much a better place. It really, really would. I really am putting off going out at the weekends, and I'm not sitting here WhatsApping weirdos on Facebook or WhatsApp, right? Keeping me under control in this flat, yeah? So guys, I went out with Max, right? I wasn't feeling very happy at all. I've blocked somebody on Facebook, and I've blocked them for sending me indecent images of themselves. And it wasn't only that. Not only were the images disgusting, and yeah, I did speak to them, and they wanted to send me pictures to WhatsApp, so I viewed these pictures. Indecent images of a man, and I would say he was in his late 50s, 60s, so he wasn't harming any young women, because I'm in my 50s, but trying to get me to take my clothes off. That's what put me off. Trying to get me to take my clothes off, and I hope it's not something to do with the homeless people on the field in those tents. I'll tell you why I say that. I went out for a walk with Max, the usual time, and of course it's made me self-conscious about what I look like, and I shouldn't be self-conscious. What I look like is none of other people's business. It isn't. But I was feeling self-conscious, and I was feeling pissed off, and I didn't want to go out. I felt unwell, I felt sick, I'd been sent indecent images, I was feeling ill, dizzy. I'd blocked the person. They were vile. Absolutely vile and disgusting. It was meant to, I don't know what it was meant to do, it didn't. I went out with Max, I felt extremely unwell. And again, I felt sexually abused, and someone was trying to get me to take my clothes off. And if I've got fucking snaggled teeth and fucking, what are you doing? You're taking a fucking piss. And what they're doing with indecent images of women, probably selling them on porn sites or God knows what else. So I went out onto the field. There was a couple walking together with a dog. Two homeless men were sat outside a tent. They were sat outside together. Two men. The blonde female that sounded like a man came up to me the other day and asked about Max. She wasn't there at that point. She wasn't there. I walked on the field. I was left alone. There was nobody lying face down in the grass. So apart from these two people that had walked in front of me, I was on my own on the field. I walked past the two men. They were staring at me as I was walking up the path. They were faced towards me staring, two men. I walked past them, and apart from that, there really wasn't anybody on the field. And then the two homeless guys, the one that belched at me the other day, and I really lost my temper and got upset. I was really upset. He was walking down with another guy, and he started going, "Oi, you!" making a load of noise. By this time, I was right opposite on my way home, near the Harvey's utility van that's parked out there again. Harvey. So these two guys were making a load of noise. "Oh, oh, oi, you!" And of course I turned round. They look clean for being homeless. They look, I don't know why they're homeless and living in tents in the first place. They're obviously going somewhere with money and coming back with stuff as well, so I don't know what's going on there. Why would you live all the way from, they're walking a fair way, because apart from Costa Coffee, I don't know where they're going. There's Costa Coffee, there's the Travel Lodge, and it makes me wonder if they've got something to do with that Charlie, because they're obviously walking under that railway bridge near where he lives opposite. So, he was going, making a load of noise. I turned round, and then I saw the blonde woman and they were going over to this blonde lady. Right. I just, you know, they were making so much noise, they were making everybody turn around to look at them. An old lady with grey hair had gone past me, really large, with her bloke. A large grey-haired old lady had walked in front of me with her bloke. And they was all cooing over this blonde woman, this big blonde lady with a man's voice. They was all cooing over her and going over to her. I turned round and there was a man with a baby in a pram, a foreign guy walking a baby in a pram on his own. And I walked past them and I went home. But I felt awful. Ugh! It's all staged, and I'm sure that these guys know Charlie, because Charlie has been on the streets. He's an ex-alcoholic. So I'm getting, well, it's the second time that these people on the field have pissed me off. So it's got to be something to do with that Charlie character, because he appeared on the field the other day when I was live streaming. I can't do anything because I can't prove it's directed towards me. Someone, you know, you can't say, oh, that, you know, they belched at me, because people belch. I belch, and accidentally, do you know what I mean? So that, you know, couldn't do anything about that. And as I'm about, I can't do anything about that. And Charlie just walking on the field, I can't do anything about that, because, you know, you've got to prove he's harassing you. He's been told 3 or 4 times to leave me alone. He can't come up to me because I'll get the police onto him. I will. He's been told over 2 times to leave me alone. So he knows he can't come up to me and talk to me. So I believe he's getting other people to harass me. That's what I believe. I just need the proof. Somebody keeps asking me if I eaten. Yes, I've eaten. I had a Sainsbury's delivery. I've eaten food. I've just eaten a quiche Lorraine about 2 hours ago. A quiche Lorraine. I'm fine. You should worry about yourself eating, not me. So, it wasn't a pleasant walk at all. It wasn't pleasant, and the lady in the co-op has got something to do with Charlie as well. She has. She's got something to do with that Charlie. I used to go in there and I used to do my shopping, and she used to be really nice to me, and she knew that Charlie. They used to have cigarettes together. I believe they was all mates. The woman said Charlie's place was dirty. She said she'd been in his flat and he had a dirty bed or something. Yeah, it's okay for me to go in there and get abused by him, isn't it? And I was. I don't mean he did anything in his bedroom. He asked me to go in there and his dog was lying on the bed. And I ain't a fucking dog, I'm a human being. Tired of it. So whoever those pictures were, they were vile and disgusting. The person's been blocked. I've deleted the photographs. Right? That's all I'm doing. I'm not contacting the police, because the police are useless. I'll deal with it myself. No means no, and that's the end of it. And if I'm fucking ugly and I'm all this, why are you following me about and getting people to harass me? You just fucking leave me alone, wouldn't you? If I found someone distasteful, ugly and not my type, I certainly wouldn't keep following him about. The guy's obsessed. this is the parcel that I picked up. I'm Crystal. I'm a female. This is Rochester in England. Yeah. We can't all be perfect. But it happens to everybody on TikTok that's got some physical disability or something, you know. So you should be very grateful that you're beautiful and you've got all these attributes, right? So you see someone that's a bit not the norm, so you show off that you're perfect. But are you really? Because you wouldn't need to show yourself off if you was perfect. So you must have some sort of mental imbalance. Because if you're happy with yourself, you don't need to show off, do you? Why would you need to like burst in and show off and knock somebody out the way? It's not me with the problem. It's you. This was what was in the lobby. It's come from Armagh. Armagh. Those other shoes are going back, and I'm going to get £10 refunded, $9.99. So in replacement of those shoes, I got these. My foot is a wide size 7. A wide size 7. Now this is wrapped in black. Black tissue paper all over the place. Nice colour. Black tissue paper. Now this is what I call a wide sandal. That's a wide sandal, isn't it? That's what I call a wide sandal for a wide size 7. Sorry. Fingers and thumbs. There you go. That's wide size 7. No, I've not got perfect teeth. No, I haven't. I've been neglected by the dental service since I was a kid. My body was abused as a child. A sex fucking toy. Now, you can call me what you like. I'm going to wear shorts. I'm going to wear nice sandals. I'm going to be myself, yeah? I don't care what you think of me. It's not your fucking body. So fuck off. Simple. It's all to do with confidence. Right? You can be a pretty thing and have no confidence at all. You can be ugly as fuck and walk down the road and not give a fucking shit. So that was the box in the lobby. I am not letting bullies ruin the rest of my life, right? And that's the end of it. I'm not someone's property. It's my body, and you're not fucking playing about with it. Nobody is. I think that I'm never going to get a relationship again. I know that. I don't sleep around, and I certainly don't want a fucking bloke using me for sex and then dumping me. So I am done with the dating scene. I'm absolutely done with it, yeah? And you want information out of me, ask me to my face, because you're just going to get fed a load of bullshit. And I'll lead you on a wild goose chase. You ain't getting no information out of me. And all you fucking media people that are fucking... Yeah, I do believe they've been making films and videos and taking the piss. out of my snaggletooth. They can start paying what they owe me. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London in Global Player.
Unlock exclusive features and content from LBC and even join the conversation.
Send a comment to LBC.
Just say, ask Global Player to link my account.
Problems of the foyer tourist industry. But next weekend, the Du Maurier Literary Festival
Just leave it
starts
there
in Foyer, and
so
I'm
you can see
speaking
it's
on
dark
2 o'clock
outside.
Saturday afternoon, the 10th of
Can't you?
May, on my new book on Margaret Thatcher, and then on Monday morning,
Me and my
Tessa
block
Donovan
of
and I
flats in the
presenting
pitch
a
dark
live
by myself.
podcast of Where Politics Meets History. So should you happen to be in the area and would like to come, we would love to see you there. Right, let's go to Pete, who is a new caller in West Malvern in Worcestershire, a very lovely town which I visited in February to visit my friend Jackie Smith, who lives there, when we went to see a Meatloaf tribute act by Terry in Bournemouth, who's listening to this programme, and it was the most brilliant evening in your wonderful theatre, Pete.
Fantastic. I didn't go to that night myself.
Well, you should have done, you missed out.
It sounds amazing. But regarding the tourists, it's definitely got busier here. In Malvern and West Malvern and up the hill. The hills, of course, are fantastic. So, and they've always been there for people, but they've kind of died off a little bit, I think, since the famous times of Elgar's times. But post-pandemic, and during the pandemic, it was where everybody went for their like socially distanced walking. And it seemed to take off since then. And it's been amazing watching all the new people come along, you know.
And are they generally welcomed by the locals? Because obviously they bring in income. Presumably the hotels are busier, the shops are busier, and you've got some great independent shops in Malvern, I have to say.
Yes, definitely. I think it's a bit of both. In general, they are. I mean, what amazed me was I was in West London. I used to live in West London until I came here, and I came here just pre the pandemic, and it was a very English place, let's just say. But Birmingham was only an hour away, and I noticed during the pandemic that it got a lot more cultural. Let's say there'd be more Indian people who'd come across, and because they had no choice, there's nowhere they could travel. And I remember seeing some lovely scenes where people would look at the hills and look at them as mountains and say let's climb those mountains and bring little barbecues with them. And sometimes inappropriately put them in a grassy field and go, that's actually quite dangerous. But somebody would go over and tell them and just go, you might not want to like that there. And it was lovely to see the kind of interaction between city and almost countryside. And it was very heartwarming really. And it seems to have carried on. I'm seeing a lot of, like, let's say, Brummies and families are still climbing the hills, and the pandemic's now not a distant memory, but, it's away.
Pete, thank you very much indeed. Fitty, that's a good name, isn't it? Says, it's short for Felicity apparently. Buenos Aires, Ian. We tried to visit Assisi and Perugia this last week, but ended up turning around in the bun fight for parking and leaving. The sight of the enormous buses and crowds was simply awful. It was a very long weekend, which did not help, but we have noticed that now even Milan now teems with tourists almost year-round. It feels like there is no solution, because as soon as a lesser-known place gets onto social media, it runs the danger of becoming just another tourist mob destination. Great discussion. Sarah is in Stratford-upon-Avon. Oh my goodness, I imagine that you experience the same problems as Perugia, Sarah.
Well, we're not actually in Stratford-upon-Avon. We're just in a little village about 10 minutes south. But hi, Ian. I moved up here about 3 years ago from the South Cotswolds to the North Cotswolds because I was finding it increasingly difficult to, especially at weekends, to get around and go to a pub for lunch or go to the shops or whatever. because there's an absolute huge influx from Friday to Sunday to Dalesford and, am I allowed to mention places or not?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, Dalesford, Soho Farmhouse, Diddley Squat, and I work for a property company, and one of my jobs is to show houses to people, and it was just getting so difficult. So we moved much further north, and there seems to be a sort of cut-off point where people from, weekenders don't go above kind of Chipping Norton. So it's been really pleasant to almost sort of live the same life we were living 10 years ago further south, but now we've had to move quite a lot further north towards Birmingham.
It's awful though that I suspect you're not alone, that the tourist issue effectively has driven you out of your home.
Yeah, they have.
No,
And it's a difficult
Andrew's calling this the Clarkson effect.
It's a dichotomy because my job is to sell really fancy big houses to people, and I have a struggle with it because most of the time they're empty during the week. The children don't go to the local schools. They don't use the local shops. They only use Dalesford and places like that. So there's not much coming into the really local economy. But I see it as a worldwide problem, and I've got one daughter in Australia at the moment. She would concur, and I think for me it changed in COVID with lockdown and social media, and that's when it changed.
Sarah, thank you. Let's go to Nigel in Chelsea. Hello, Nigel.
Hi there. Well, I was just thinking that a place like what you were talking about York before, in maybe some countries, 80% of our economy is the service economy. It's same as America actually. We're quite low producers. So wouldn't it be sensible for famous historic places like that to build a sort of area outside of York which has cafes and...
Right guys, I'm going to go now. It's not been a good day for me at all. I'm really disgusted with people's behaviour. I'll see you later.